lazy ambition. This psychological state is a masterclass in biological fraud, where your brain runs a high-definition simulation of success specifically to avoid the metabolic tax of actual labor. It is a corporate takeover of your prefrontal cortex by your limbic system. Your mind has evolved a predatory defense mechanism called perfectionist paralysis. It convinces you that because you cannot guarantee a flawless victory, any movement is a failed contract. You aren't resting, you are running a 24-hour simulation of greatness that burns more neurological fuel than a CEO, while your physical body remains as productive as a decorative fern. You are essentially a Ferrari with a bricked engine, dreaming of the Autobahn, while your battery slowly leaks acid into the floorboards. You know the feeling. It's 3:14 a.m. on a Tuesday. You are lying in a nest of unwashed sheets, the blue light of your phone reflecting in your vacant eyes as you watch hustle videos at double speed. Your heart races with the thrill of a future empire, yet you lack the physical coordination to even carry a glass of water to the sink. You feel a cold, damp sweat on the back of your neck as the digital clock flips over, a physical manifestation of a life being spent in the waiting room of reality. That sinking feeling in your stomach isn't hunger, it's the visceral awareness that your tomorrow is just a recurring lie you tell to prevent total systemic liquidation. You are the ultimate middle manager of your own potential. All the demands of a tyrant with the follow-through of a ghost. You provide the labor, and your ego takes the dividends. But while you are busy dreaming of empires in your pajamas, the next group on our list has a dopamine system so profoundly broken it has completely deleted the concept of the collective win. Your potential is a graveyard. Sports indifference. A total failure to synchronize your dopamine with the physical labor of 11 millionaires is a profound evolutionary mutation in your social hardware. It is a refusal to sign the tribal subscription plan. While the masses engage in a psychological process called reflected glory, your brain has opted out of this parasocial high-frequency trading. The average fan's brain is a slot machine, fueled by intermittent reinforcement, where every play is a microdose of anticipation that activates the same reward centers as a casino floor. They say, "We won," to steal a sense of achievement they didn't earn, and "they lost" to distance themselves from the failure. You, however, are a biological island, watching the mainland set itself on fire for a trophy you will never touch. It is 4:22 p.m. on a Sunday. The air in the room is thick with the smell of processed cheese and communal desperation. Your neighbor is currently screaming at a 65-inch screen, his blood pressure spiking for a man who doesn't know he exists. You feel a distinct, cold chill in your spine as you realize you are the only person in the room not currently under temporary hypnotic possession. You feel that sinking feeling in your stomach, not because of the score, but because you are witnessing a collective neurological hallucination where adult humans tie their self-esteem to a ball moving across a line. You are essentially a forensic observer in a ward of dopamine addicts. This refusal to join the herd is intellectually efficient, but it's a minor quirk compared to the people who view a crowded subway as a biological slaughterhouse. You are the HR department of your own emotions, refusing to invest in any project where you don't hold at least 51% of the voting shares. You are a spectator of the spectators. The crowd is a cage. Crowd intolerance. This visceral rejection of dense human clusters is actually a sign that your brain's spam filter has suffered a total systemic collapse, leaving you with an 8K IMAX feed of other people's biological waste. Most humans possess a neurological mute button that ignores background noise, but you are cursed with sensory processing sensitivity. Your mind is currently screenshotting every sweaty shoulder brush, every high-pitched laugh, and every rancid perfume in a 3-block radius. You aren't shy. You are a biological supercomputer being forced to process a mountain of low-value data from people who barely understand how to breathe through their noses. You are effectively an elite intelligence officer trapped in a riot of toddlers. Imagine it's 7:14 p.m. on a Saturday. You are standing in the middle of a packed downtown spot. You feel a cold, oily sweat beginning to pool at the base of your spine as the walls seem to vibrate with the sheer volume of unnecessary human existence. Every micro-expression on a stranger's face hits you like a physical blow. You feel that sinking feeling because your brain has calculated the energy cost of this vibe and has preemptively declared emotional bankruptcy. You don't want to connect. You want to evacuate. Your soul is essentially trying to file for an emergency self-exit while your body is stuck in a conversation about crypto. You are the only person playing chess in a room full of people eating the checkers. This sensory overload is a high-status burden, but it's a vacation compared to the individuals who have completely deleted the outside from their operating systems. You are a human lie detector in a world that only speaks in cliches. Solitude is your only leverage. Chronic solitude. Approximately one-fifth of the human livestock possesses a nervous system that treats social interaction as a high-interest payday loan and silence as a blue-chip investment. This is not avoidance behavior. It is a clinical rejection of the better half myth. While the extroverted masses are frantically searching for their missing pieces like a box of broken Lego, your brain has audited your internal assets and realized you are a fully vertically integrated corporation with zero need for outside contractors. Your reward system doesn't run on the cheap, volatile dopamine of a stranger's smile. It runs on acetylcholine, a sophisticated chemical that provides a neurological high for the radical act of just sitting still and letting the world expire without you. It is 9:14 p.m. on a Friday. You are submerged in a sensory deprivation tank of your own making, feeling the cool, still air of a quiet room against your skin. Suddenly, your smartphone vibrates, a digital parasite screaming for attention. A text arrives. Coming out tonight? You feel a heavy, sinking sensation in your gut, the same biological dread a gazelle feels when it hears the grass rustle. The mere idea of simulating human enthusiasm for 3 hours feels like a total systemic liquidation of your remaining energy. You watch the phone go dark with a sense of immense, cold satisfaction. You have successfully defended your borders from the horde. You are the ultimate sovereign state, refusing to export your neurological energy to people who only offer small talk as a return on investment. This level of self-contained efficiency is a masterpiece of biological management, but it is child's play compared to the individuals who view their own birth date as a failed contract that should never be renewed. You have realized that in the economy of the soul, other people are usually just a liability. Your peace is a fortress. Birthday avoidance. This annual rejection of chronological progress is essentially a frantic audit of a failing enterprise that you never asked to manage. It is a clinical response to the spotlight effect, where being the main character for 24 hours feels like a hostile takeover of your remaining privacy. While the extroverted cattle use birthday months to demand external validation, your brain is running a process called terror management theory. You recognize that each candle is not a trophy, but a tally mark on the wall of your biological holding cell. You are paralyzed by idealization paralysis, a state where your brain's prediction machine realizes that a grocery store cake can never fill the existential void of your own terminal expiration. It is 6:42 p.m. on the anniversary of your biological launch. You are pinned to a chair while a group of strangers and distant relatives scream a tuneless anthem at your face. You feel the heat of the candles against your skin, but you only feel a cold, hollow vacuum in your chest. You are forced to perform joy, yet your jaw muscles are twitching with the urge to file for a total systemic liquidation. You are the involuntary center of a ritual you despise, feeling the sinking feeling of a life that is simply being measured rather than lived. You aren't difficult. You are just tired of being a prop in other people's social theater. The traditional birthday celebration is the ultimate corporate performance review, a day where you are forced to pretend your output justifies the cost of your continued occupancy. You are the employee of the month for a job you hate. This chronological retreat is a sophisticated defense, but it is child's play compared to the domestic isolationists who have deleted the concept of the outside entirely. You are just a clock. Domestic isolation. The voluntary house arrest of the modern human primate is a calculated, tactical withdrawal from a world that treats your limited attention like an open-source ATM. It is a biological fortifying of your personal borders. While the extroverted herd relies on external noise to kickstart their sluggish dopamine engines, your internal system is governed by optimal arousal theory. Your nervous system is so high maintenance that even a flickering fluorescent light in a coffee shop registers as a systemic assault. You are utilizing refuge appeal, an evolutionary hangover that triggers a reward response specifically when you are enclosed in a space where no predator, including your middle manager, can reach you. You aren't homebodies, you are forensic auditors of your own life force, refusing to spend a single cent of energy on an unpredictable, low-value outside world. It is 8:22 p.m. on a Saturday night. You are currently typing a "sorry, I can't make it" text to a group of people who make you feel like a hollowed-out battery. As soon as you hit send, you feel a visceral, physical wave of relief wash over your skin. Your living room isn't just a room, it is a clinical isolation ward. You sink into your sofa, and the silence feels like a warm, thick liquid. The digital clock is your only companion, ticking away the seconds of a night you've successfully stolen back from the social cattle. You feel that sinking feeling in your stomach, but for once, it is the satisfying weight of total control. Modern society is a relentless PR campaign for the hustle, convincing you that if you aren't visible, you don't exist. You've realized that most fun is just a high-cost performance for an audience you don't even like. This domestic retreat is an elite strategy for survival, but it is child's play compared to the cold-blooded individuals who find psychological ecstasy in the dead, freezing darkness of a literal blizzard. Isolation is your final upgrade. Thermal withdrawal. This calculated obsession with extreme thermal deprivation is a sophisticated exploit of the contrast effect, where you derive neurological pleasure specifically because the outside world is a hostile, frozen wasteland. While the sun worshippers are leaking salt and IQ points in the humidity, your system is utilizing refuge appeal, an evolutionary hangover that triggers a reward response only when the environment is actively attempting a terminal expiration of your species. You crave the clinical silence of the dark season because it provides circadian boundaries, using a 4:31 p.m. sunset to stop the clock on a society that demands infinite growth. You aren't cozy. You are a biological opportunist, hiding in a climate-controlled bunker, waiting for the herd to expire. It is 4:45 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are submerged in a $120 weighted blanket, the gray, muted light of the afternoon dying against your window. You feel the faint, cold vibration of the wind rattling the glass, a sensation that sends a visceral surge of safety into your amygdala. You feel a shiver, not from the cold, but from the realization that you have successfully avoided every outdoor obligation. The darkness feels like a thick, protective oil on your skin. You feel that sinking feeling in your stomach, but it is actually the satisfying weight of ancestral hibernation. You are the only animal in the zip code not currently pretending that a 90-degree beach is a vacation. Modern society has deleted the concept of seasonality, demanding that you function like a predictable machine regardless of the tilts of the planet. You have simply recognized that summer is a high-cost PR campaign for extroverts. This thermal retreat is an elite defensive maneuver, but it is child's play compared to the individuals who can only feel safe if they have organized their environment with the precision of a crime scene. Nature always takes its toll. Compulsive sanitization. This high-frequency ritual is actually a frantic attempt to manually override your body's cortisol flood, because your brain views a pile of laundry as a looming corporate bankruptcy. It is a forensic autopsy of your living space. While the slovenly masses are drowning in a sea of their own biological debris, your system is running an environmental audit to lower your systemic stress levels. You aren't neat. You are a biological engineer, using a spray bottle to prevent your own emotional detonation. Your brain treats visual clutter like an unsilenced alarm, and every wiped surface is a temporary ceasefire in the war against your own nervous system. You are essentially polishing the deck of a sinking ship. It is 10:14 a.m. on a Tuesday. You are standing in your kitchen, the sharp medicinal smell of industrial-grade citrus burning your nostrils. You feel the electric twitch in your hands as you obsessively align a salt shaker with the exact edge of the counter. You see a single crumb on the tile, and it feels like a physical violation of your dignity. You scrub the porcelain until your knuckles turn a sickly, translucent white, feeling a visceral wave of relief as the chaos of the world is momentarily liquidated by a rag. You feel that sinking feeling because you know that as soon as you stop, the dust and the dread will begin to accumulate again. This domestic audit is an elite defense against a messy life, but it's child's play compared to the psychological trench warfare of a shared Thanksgiving dinner. You are the high-status janitor of your own sanity, realizing that a dirty floor is just a metaphor for a dirty soul. You are trying to polish the mirror because you don't like the reflection looking back at you. Order is your only shield. Familial regression. This mandatory descent into your own history is not quality time. It is a forced systemic downgrade of your entire operating system. While scrubbing your floorboards was a desperate attempt to control your environment, this event is a total surrender of your autonomy to a group of people who share your DNA but none of your reality. Your brain is currently suffering from a glitch called roll lock, where the moment you cross the threshold of your childhood home, your prefrontal cortex loads a corrupted save file from 1997. You may be a CEO in the real world, but in this kitchen, you are psychologically demoted to a moody teenager with no voting rights. You aren't visiting, You are being reabsorbed by a dysfunctional hive mind that remembers your awkward phase as your permanent identity. It is 2:15 p.m. on a Thursday. The room is stiflingly hot and smells of dry turkey and passive aggression. You are pinned in the corner of a beige sofa, holding a drink you didn't want, while an uncle you see once a year explains why your career is a scam. You feel a sharp, rhythmic throbbing behind your eyes, the physical cost of maintaining a social mask that is currently burning 90% of your glucose. You feel that familiar, sinking feeling in your gut, not from the food, but from the realization that every invasive question about your love life is a microaggression designed to establish dominance. You are essentially a hostage negotiator in a room full of people who installed your triggers. You have spent years building a personality, only to have it stripped away by a single comment about your haircut. You realize that your entire identity is just a rental agreement subject to the whims of your biological landlords. You are not an individual. You are a recursive loop in someone else's code. Your mind is not yours. Strategic severance. This total liquidation of your social portfolio is not a tantrum. It is a stop-loss order executed by a nervous system that has gone bankrupt on other people's drama. You haven't changed. Your brain has simply completed a forensic audit of your relationships and found them all to be Ponzi schemes. You are operating on hyper-pattern recognition, a survival algorithm that spots the red flags of emotional parasitism before the first, "Hey, can I ask a favor?" text even arrives. You don't ghost people because you are mean. You ghost them because your biological battery is leaking acid and you can no longer afford the tuition for their life lessons. It is 8:12 p.m. on a Saturday. Your phone vibrates on the coffee table, a digital summons from a friend who only calls when their life is on fire. In the past, you would have answered, your stomach dropping with the weight of obligation. Today, you watch the screen light up and feel nothing. No guilt, no panic, just the cool, clinical detachment of a surgeon cutting a dead limb off a tree. You slide the phone face down. The silence that follows isn't lonely. It is the expensive, high-fidelity quiet of a vault. You have realized that support was just a euphemism for being an unpaid therapist to people who treat you like a vending machine. You are the sole inhabitant of a fortress built from the boundaries you were once too afraid to set. You are safe, you are solvent, and you are completely, perfectly empty. Your life is not yours.